Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm showing you how I made my Stay Wild alcohol ink tumbler. Let's go. We're using a 30-ounce skinny tumbler for this. I've already prepped it and painted it white, and I'm going to be using a lot of different alcohol inks, and I will have all the names and brands and all the supplies used in this video listed in the description box. So what we're going for here is this kind of splotchy, almost galaxy vibe. So I'm just going to start with my alcohol ink. I'm going to drop the color directly onto the tumbler, take my cotton pad and blend that color out, spread it around the cup a little bit. I want to do random little splotches of color, especially starting out. Once we start to add more color, we'll start to layer them on top of each other and blend them out a little bit more. But just in the beginning, we're going to start placing the color just randomly around the different spots of the cup to build a little bit of a foundation. And I'm starting with my kind of main primary colors that are the darkest. So I'm going to start with this dark purple, and then I'm going to work into the darkest blue and then the darkest pink. And then I'll go back and blend those colors out even more with the lighter version of each of those colors. Now you absolutely do not have to use as many colors as I used here. I think I ended up using like 11 or 12 colors. You can 100% achieve a similar look, probably just as good, with maybe like 3 to 5 colors. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy a bazillion alcohol inks so you can make a cup like this. You only need a few. So the cotton pads I'm using are Whispers brand, and they have this side that's kind of flat and doesn't have a lot of cotton remnants that come off when you dab into the cup. And I use that side to blot the alcohol ink in because I don't want to get a lot of cotton stuck in my cup that I'm going to have to worry about later when I do epoxy. Every time I use a new color, I'm using a new cotton pad. I try to keep the same cotton pad within the same color family. So I have a purple one, a blue one, and so on. And every time I put a new color down, I am putting it somewhere on the cup by itself, but also placing it right up against the colors that are already down. Now when you do that, you do have to work a little bit fast because one, this dries really quickly, but also if you're holding your cup at a certain angle, the alcohol ink will like run down the side of your cup when you drop it down, and it'll create a little stripe that you'll have to go out and blend later. It happens to me like every single time I do it, but if you just add a little bit more ink to that spot, to your little stripe area, it will blend out. That is the beauty of using alcohol inks. You can always add more and it'll blend and the colors will meld together and make something really cool. So don't worry about messing this up or adding too much color. Even if you add a super pigmented color like this bright red that was like very alarming to me when I first added it, you can blend it out, you can add some lighter colors, it will all be fine. So the moral of the story is just go for it. Okay, I've got all my inks on, my cup is fully covered. Now I'm going to create those really cool cells with some rubbing alcohol that's in my spray bottle. I'm going to hold my bottle really far back from my cup, just about a foot, and I'm going to lightly and quickly spray the cup with the alcohol, and it's going to create these really cool cells. You can add as much or as little of this as you want. I'm going to go a little bit heavy-handed because I'm going to go back in and do a second round of my alcohol ink blotting to blend out a few of those cells and keep some where I want some and blend some other ones out. You don't need to wait for this to dry or anything. We're just going to go straight back in. I sprayed my alcohol in my garage, then went back into my office and went right back into it. I'm just going to blend a few of those spots out where I feel like it's too much white or it diluted the color a little bit too much, or if there are a lot of big streaky spots or anything that I just am not a super fan of, I'm going to go back in with my ink, blend those out a little bit more. And all this does is add more dimension. You can do this as many times as you want. It's totally up to you. This is what mine looks like. At the end, I'm going to let it dry overnight and then add my leopard spots. For my leopard spots, I'm using regular white Orcal 651 vinyl, and I cut a full sheet of spots at one time, and then I just transfer one spot at a time to my cup. The way I'm going to put the spots on this cup is in little clusters. So I'm just going to put maybe like 5 to 7 different spots in a few different areas of the cup, maybe like 4 to 5 different clusters on a cup this size. We don't want to overwhelm the cup with leopard spots because we are going to go in and add even more details later. So just keep that in mind as you add your spots. Okay, spots are done. This is what we've got so far. I did leave space for the decal that I'm going to add, and now we're going to add the gold leaf. I'm using the same gold leaf I always do. It will be linked in the description, and my regular old glue stick from Walmart. Now the gold leaf detail on this cup is going to be very minimal. I'm just going to add a very tiny dot of glue and a small little piece of gold leaf. We just want these to be little flecks of shine throughout the cup, so I'm literally not going to go any bigger than that one spot, and I'm just going to put a few of these very sparingly around the entire cup. Once all of my gold leaf is placed, I'm going to brush off any extra fleckies with my chip brush, let the glue dry just about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go in with my first coat of epoxy. I just did one coat of epoxy, about 30 milliliters, let that cure overnight, and then it was time to apply the decal. I designed this decal with an offset. It is available for free in our Facebook group, which is linked in the description. It's also available in my Etsy shop if you don't want to join the Facebook group, but I'm not sure why. It's going to be really fun in there. Anyway, for this cup, I'm not going to use the offset because I want the design to kind of just blend in with the rest of the cup. I don't want the decal to stand out too much. So I just used this holographic gold vinyl from Tech Wrap Craft and cut it out on my silhouette. I'm going to apply it using the hinge method, so I picked the spot that I left blank for the decal, cut back a bit of that backing paper so I could anchor my decal down, and then I stuck that exposed transfer tape onto the cup, peeled off the rest of the backing, and laid my decal down. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. The final step is to add the detailing to our leopard spots. I'm going to use a gold acrylic paint marker and just do a few little zigzag lines on some of the parts of those leopard spots. I just wanted to incorporate them more into the design and add a little bit of flair and zest to them. The credit for this idea goes to my mom. She gave me this idea when I first made this cup. She thought the leopard spots looked a little weird and they weren't incorporated, so she recommended that I outline them or do this little zigzag pattern with the paint marker, and I think she's a genius. I think it looks really good. So I did this on all the spots. I just do maybe 2 or 3 max on each spot, nothing crazy, just to add a little bit more depth and incorporate them more into the design. I did end up going back actually and doing all of my little zigzag spots over again. I used a different gold acrylic paint marker. I just liked the metallic color of this one better for this design. I felt like it matched with the vinyl and the gold leaf a little bit better, so I just went over all the spots I had before. I let that dry about 30 minutes and then I went in with my final coats of epoxy. I did 2 final coats of epoxy of about 30 milliliters each. And once it was completely smooth and cured, we were all done. This is one of my favorite designs that I've ever done. I really like how it all comes together and how there are so many different elements. And of course, if you add leopard print to it, I'm in, I'm sold. So this was so much fun to make. Hopefully you are inspired by this design and you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel for new videos every Tuesday and Saturday. We're moving our Friday upload date to Saturday, so we will see you on the weekend now. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!